UCLA football is returning to the Rose Bowl as it was intended to be here in the 2026 season. Drama notwithstanding, according to Ben Bolch of the California Post, the Bruins, they're returning to their longtime home exactly as it should be. Let's go.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Locked On UCLA podcast. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks for making this show your first listen each and every day. It's free wherever it's your podcast, and it's available on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, download. Thanks for your support. Welcome back, everydayers. The good news, maybe to some, maybe bad news to others, is that UCLA is returning to the Rose Bowl. It's seemingly been in the works for a little bit now. If you looked as to where UCLA was kind of listing their home games on their website, on the official athletics website, when UCLA was trying to keep it under wraps as to where their spring game could be. It's like, are they really going to put it in the Rose Bowl and Drake? And while there doesn't exactly seem to be a place or a location for the spring game at this moment that I've seen, the Ben Bolch, the UCLA beat writer of the California Post, said, hey, the Bruins, they're returning back. That's his scoop. So the Bruins, yeah, absolutely great move. Because here's a couple of things and a couple of reasons why it's good. One, UCLA, it's a great measuring stick, all right? This is where the athletic department, as dumb as the move to SoFi is, can turn and look to us as the fans. As much as they've tried to screw us over with this move, blindsiding us without any proper understanding as to when this team might move or change homes, which it seems like it will, but at the moment it won't. Bob Chesney has a lot of buzz on the hype, okay? If we as a fan base sit there and show up and put up less than 30,000 on the home opener, then we suck as a fan base. All right. All the jokes, which I'm tired of hearing, but unfortunately, a lot of them are true as they poke fun of crowds either filling in or not, tarps or not. Let's make them take off the damn tarps. Because if we go into this stadium and there's another like 15K in there for Bob Chesney's home opener, when he could potentially have people visiting, checking it out. Oh, what's the vibe of UCLA? And it's the same thing. It's a good measuring stick for what Deshaun Foster's opener was, for what it looked like compared to Jim Mora, compared to Chip Kelly. If there's a vibe, then let's do it. Then let's pump it up. Because Chip Kelly, the last time he really filled it up was because Deion Sanders was all the hype. UCLA wore the amazing throwback uniforms. It was homecoming, and Colorado had a lot of hype in 2023, the first year of Coach Prime. Okay? Now, you fast forwarded to years later, Deshaun Foster obviously didn't have it, and once the team we realized was not that good in 2025, people didn't even come out for what could have been the last ever game at the Rose Bowl, which it ended up not being. I am very glad that is not the last performance UCLA put out in the Rose Bowl against Washington. Chesney's company deserves to be like, hey, we've got a true home field, not this NFL stadium that multiple teams share. No, the Rose Bowl. Pasadena has done their best to make it UCLA's home. And all UCLA has done is said, yeah, no, we want more money, which I understand they've got a lot of financial issues with UCLA at the moment, but some things are bigger than the finances. If you build it, they will come. Obviously, I'm mostly quoting Field of Dreams, and now that UCLA is trying to build it without tearing it apart from the inside out as a administration, if you let this program build, if you let Chesney bring the hype, you saw James Madison pack out an energized home field for their Sun Belt Championship game. And while they're not going to be hosting conference championships in the Big Ten, and while there'll be big fan bases coming from the East Coast, from the Midwest, from other parts of the Big Ten, we want to showcase that September 12th game against San Diego State is a reason why the UCLA fan base shouldn't be messed with anymore on social media, that we can walk the walk. We can back it up. We can back up this smack that if Chesney's coming, the university, the institution as a whole is investing in UCLA football, regardless of how dumb they might be doing it from the inside. They chose the right dude. He's doing the right things, taking the right steps. And as much as nobody's really buying into UCLA men's basketball right now, how is UCLA going to fix the finances if we don't show up for the football games? Now, we all love the tailgate. That's great. beautiful Saturday afternoons, Saturday mornings, Saturday evenings, whenever they're going to post the times of these games, we better be there rocking and going in the stadium. All right. And I'd love to be fist bumping quite a few of you over there. Be like, let's go. Let's go, Bruins. You know, when we used to cram in those bleachers and the seats where it's like, oh, there's so many people, we can have a presence on third down. We can force false start penalties when the opposition is there. When there's legitimate banter against the opposition and we're trying to treat them as well as when we were treated on the road, whether it was Big Ten brethren, non-conference brethren of years ago. But this is the right move. And I do think what UCLA is trying to do and break this contract, I obviously disagree with it. I think there is an ending in sight. Although what's interesting is that maybe the Rose Bowl has things up their sleeve to keep the Bruins in there till the 2040s. And if UCLA has built something special, then this will just be a blip on the radar. The fact that this was even in question that they're leaving the Rose Bowl. Okay? You can think outside the box, but the way UCLA has done it has not been with the most pizzazz, just the right way of going about the business. So now that UCLA is at the Rose Bowl, this is where the administration can look at the fan base and be like, hey, alumni, fans, students. I know it's a lot tougher for students to get out there, but we're tired of that. Those first couple of games, September 12th, when the students are not back fully into school, we've got to showcase we can come to a September home game when the vibes are still immaculate. It'll help out a lot when UCLA plays Cal week 1 and hopefully can get a win. And if they're 1-0, there'll be a lot of good vibes. And even though it's only San Diego State, that's a team that is trying to represent a brand that UCLA was amongst the leaders of for so long. The West Coast college football teams with traditional resources in the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-8, all before they went in their separate ways. And I know, yes, UCLA was a part of breaking up the Pac-12, but San Diego State was a Mountain West contender last year. They've got good coaching. They've got good teams. And while I'm not up to date as to what that roster could be, we should not just look at San Diego State as another team as, to take lightly on the schedule. No, show up. That's a good, solid home game. UCLA gets to start a 7-game home slate, okay? It only feels right that UCLA, one, has this many home games, and they get to keep it at the Rose Bowl. Chesney has plenty of opportunities to beat the numbers of his previous coaches, of his predecessors. And two, Chesney's first home game against USC has to be the Rose Bowl. Come on, it has to be the Rose Bowl. Get the vibe, remove the tarps, sell that place out, and we're going to have what could be a bloodbath in college football paradise in the Rose Bowl against their bitter rival, right? UCLA-USC is at its finest under the lights in prime time at the Rose Bowl towards the end of the season, as it always should be, okay? Should be. So let's go. Pack it out. It's only what everybody calls the granddaddy of them all. And while the Rose Bowl game is slowly losing its importance in terms of top tier bowls from championship to semi to the quarter, it's still everybody's favorite bowl game to watch. It's the one that's got the most views on New Year's Day. Why can't we make it a sight to behold from September all the way until the end of the season in November before the Rose Bowl game? Okay? Let's make that happen. Can if you're watching, if you're listening, can we agree to show up this year? All right. Can we give Chesney a chance and not just, we want to watch this game on the Big Ten? No, forget the Big Ten Network. Let's go show up. Let's go give the athletic department their minuscule bucks that they're getting from this parking and their suites. All right, let's go show up as a fan base in the general seats. The tickets aren't that crazy, to be quite honest. They're not raising. The tailgating experience is still going to be fantastic for the West Coast teams here for UCLA when you're hosting all these teams. The best West Coast tailgate for the fans in terms of just the parking, the golf course, it's the Rose Bowl, okay? So if you come see me, come say hi at the Rose Bowl, and I'll definitely dap you up. If you want to take a picture, let's do it. But let's do it as UCLA fans at the premier stadium in the sport and not be an embarrassment anymore. This is a blessing in disguise, but it's now our chance to prove that even thinking about leaving the Rose Bowl was a mistake in the first place. Because if we stop showing up, even if this team is good and have to wait till Chesney has a contender in year 3, how's that going to help him sell recruits? It's not. How are we going to pump up the NIL? It's not. Okay? Because we can't just complain and moan and no. We got to back it up now. Because this is Absolutely fantastic news. Okay. So if you're listening, you're watching, you're tweeting, you're whatever you're doing right now, social media, scrubbing, I don't know, scrolling, let's show up this year. That's what this news means the most. Show up this year. Because if we do, and we do it in mighty numbers, students or no students, we're going to notice the upgrades the Rose Bowl is doing. We're going to see them pouring more money and make it an even better experience. And UCLA football games will be the vibe that we know they can be, and they've been in recent past, not years, 50 years of archaic downgrades. No, UCLA has recent football tradition and success. We just got to dial back the clock a little bit and actually show up and not just sit there at home and watching this game get stuck on the Big Ten Network. If it's 117 and the game's at 12:30, I'll understand. But if it's not that, then let's show up and show out. Okay? Can you agree with me? Let's do that. All right? Because the Bruins are at home, the place like they're supposed to be. Forget SoFi. I want to stay far from SoFi as long as humanly possible. But until then, hands up, Bruins fans. 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, like UCLA, fight, fight, fight. This has been Locked on UCLA. Zach signing off. Go Bruins.